Happy Independence Day, everybody, and welcome to Atlanta, Georgia, where if we can get the weatherman to cooperate tonight, the Atlanta Braves and the Colorado Rockies are going to kick off a 4-game series here at Turner Field. And all season long, Atlanta Braves baseball on Peachtree TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. And good evening, everybody. Joe Simpson along with Ron Gant. Glad you're with us tonight as the Braves try to get back on track after a loss yesterday. They'll get back to National League play tonight, Ron, with one of the races on the mound, Tommy Hanson, who's going for his 10th win. And he pitched pretty good coming off the DL in Seattle his last start.
Well, Joe, he struggled his first couple innings in that start. But one thing I've learned about Tommy Hanson is he has been able to make adjustments on the fly. Early on, he couldn't get his fastball over. He struggled a little bit with location. So what did he do? He ended up going with his curveball to get strike one, and then he put these guys away with a fastball late. Ended up striking out 8 Mariners in that game. And as a result of making those adjustments, his last 10 starts, he's 7-1, and he struck out 73 batters. And
he's won 4 straight, went undefeated in the month of June. He'll hope that carries over tonight against a good-hitting Colorado Rockies team. It also marks the return of Ubaldo Jimenez. He'll get the start for the Rockies tonight. And, oh, yeah, you might remember him from last April. He threw a no-hitter here at Turner Field.
Brought to you in part by Academy Sports and Outdoors, by AT&T, by Delta Airlines, and by Hyundai.
Joe Simpson and Ron Gant welcoming you back to Turner Field, where, along with the fans here at the ballpark, we're dodging a few raindrops before we get started tonight in Game 1 of this 4-game series. And tonight, Ron, also marks the return of Ubaldo Jimenez, who on April 17th of 2010 fired a no-hitter at the Atlanta Braves. He's on the mound tonight.
Well, it's not going to be an easy walk in the park for the Braves tonight against Ubaldo Jimenez. Joe, you just mentioned that no-hitter last April. with his velocity down this year, he hasn't had the same result as he did in this game. He ended up going 9 innings and striking out 7 in that no-hitter. His velocity's been down, which led to some speculation of the Colorado Rockies saying that something might be ailing him. He's been saying all along he's fine. He's been pitching great of late, so his ERA is starting to go down. But, again, there's a big difference between last year and this year at this point in time with Ubaldo Jimenez.
And also you saw those numbers on the road. He's pitching really well away from Coors Field. We'll find out if that carries over tonight here at Turner Field as the Braves and the Rockies get set to hook up in the first of a 4-game series. We'll have first pitch coming up for you right after this timeout. By Academy Sports and Outdoors, by Checkers, and by Georgia Power. Braves getting set to take the field for the first game of this 4-game series between the Atlanta Ball Club and the Colorado Rockies. First meeting of the year between the two teams. Colorado won the season series last year 4-2. Local weather, 84 degrees at game time with very high humidity. We did have a little bit of rain pass through here, but not enough to put the tarp on the field. And it is that time of year where there are going to be some pop-up thunderstorms from time to time here in the southeast, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But it looks like we're going to get this game underway on time, which is a good thing. And here's the starting lineup for Jim Tracy, who's out exchanging lineups with Carlos Tosca representing Freddie Gonzalez. Charlie Blackmon will lead off for the first time this year, and he's a former Georgia Texter. Mark Ellis was just acquired from the Oakland A's. He'll bat second, and he's off to a hot start for him. Todd Helton, the veteran, at first base, then Troy Tulowitzki. You'll notice that Carlos Gonzalez is not in the lineup. Had a bad collision with the wall yesterday making a catch. We'll have video showing you that shortly. Seth Smith is in right field. Ty Wigginton at third base, then Spielborg, Zionetta, and Jimenez. And while we're at it, let's go ahead, Ron, and show them that crash yesterday in center field.
Well, Joe, you'll notice that Carlos goes back and makes a great play on this ball and actually holds on to it. But you see where he hits that seam right there. Well, there's a concrete walk or wall that comes down and attaches to the fence. So there's no give there, and there's not enough cushion there to be able to soften the blow that Carlos took. So as a result, had a little bit of a wrist contusion and will not be in tonight's ball game.
They're hoping he'll be back as early as tomorrow, but it may be 2 or 3 days before he's back in the lineup.
Well, on the mound for the Atlanta Braves is Tommy Hanson, 6'6", 220 from Tulsa, Oklahoma. And we mentioned in the open, he has been throwing the ball very well. His last 10 starts, he's 7-1 with a 2.35 ERA, and he has been racking up the Ks.
Good numbers there against the National League West. He'll hope that continues tonight. His defense behind him tonight in the outfield, this threesome that's been out there virtually every day in the last couple of weeks, McLeod, Schaefer, and Hayward. Brooks Conrad gets a start at third base because Chipper did get a shot in his ailing knee. He'll be out for a couple of days. Everybody else remains the same, and Brian McCann will do the catching for Hanson. The umpires for this series behind the plate tonight is Wally Bell. Last time we saw him, he was behind the plate way back in April when the Braves were out in Los Angeles. Laz Diaz, another good umpire at first base. A rookie, Corey Blazers at second, and Scott Berry's at third. The Braves just won their series with the Baltimore Orioles, taking 2 out of 3, but fell 5-4 yesterday afternoon. Atlanta now 49-36, and they're still 4 games back of the Phillies, and they are in second place. The Rockies, meanwhile, come in with a record of 41-43. They're in third place out west, 6.5 games back. Carlos Gonzalez out of the lineup, as we said, and he's been batting leadoff recently for the Rockies and just on a tremendous hot streak, so that required a little adjustment in the lineup, and Blackman will move up to the top of the order, and he can run.
Cargo, before he left that game, he was 2 for 4 with 6 RBIs.
Tearing it up, so they hate losing him even for a couple of games. Blackman hitting .280, a homer, 7 RBIs, born in Warwick, Georgia. First pitch of the game is in there for a strike call.
You mentioned Tommy Hanson throwing the ball well of late, and again, he's made adjustments. And one thing, I say this all the time, you have to give Roger McDowell credit for what he's done with these young pitchers on this pitching staff.
I agree. Off the plate foul, 0-2. And as you pointed out in that game in Seattle, Ron, Tommy got off to a little bit of a rough start, a little rusty coming back from the disabled list, but he really got everything back in order, and by the third inning started pitching more Tommy Hanson-like.
Well, he had a really good breaking ball working that day, and he just kept them off balance and finished them up pretty much with that fastball away.
He's ahead 0-2. Rockies have lost 3 straight on the road. They're 19-21 on the road for the year. To second, and Uggla's got it. Hang on there, Freddie. 1 out. Rockies are coming to town off one of their worst thumpings in a long time. They lost yesterday to Kansas City 16-8.
Touchdown, huh?
Yeah, went for 2.
Mark.
And here is Mark Ellis, who was just acquired from Oakland, and man, oh man, is he arrived on the scene in Denver in fine form. Eight for 15 in a Rockies uniform. 4 of the hits are doubles, 2 of them are homers. Good off-speed pitch, 1-1.
Mark was one of my teammates in Oakland back in 2001 and 2003, and he's one of those guys who's just as steady as they come out there at second base, and he's always been a really good contact hitter.
Well, the Rockies had a couple of positions they thought were locks this year, like Dexter Fowler out in center and Chris Stewart at third base. Those guys are both back in AAA now because they got off such horrible starts. So the lineup has been juggled a little bit, and Ellis has taken over at second, and he's, for Jim Tracy anyway, an ideal number 2 hitter. According to Elias, he was the first player since 1900 to have 6 extra base hits in his first 3 games with a new team.
And you're right, he just had a heck of a series against the Royals.
Full count.
talking Roger McDowell a little bit ago and the credit he doesn't really get for this pitching staff. They lead the majors in ERA at a 3.07. A lot of talk's been made of the Phillies pitching staff, but I'm telling you, the Braves rotation has been just as good.
You know, I think the Braves pitching staff, especially the starters, Ron, have been more consistent since day one. You think about Cliff Lee and the bad start he got off to, and Cole Hamels has been good, but there have been some rough patches for him. But Atlanta starters have all been very good. 3-2 pitch lifted to right, but Jason Hayward is there. And you notice the Braves and the Rockies later on when they take the field wearing special caps for commemorative Independence Day wear. And with 2 out, here's our Sunshine House leaderboard, and who better than to have Todd Helton on there, joining the likes of Derek Jeter and Chipper Jones with over 2,000 games played with one team. Just past that mark.
He's only faced Tommy 3 times. He's got 1 hit on those 3 trips at the plate.
Came into this season with a career .324 average, but had a bad year last year for Todd Helton. You saw his numbers. He's hitting .320. He's got 9 homers. He only hit 8 homers all last season. He's got 38 RBIs right now. He only had 37 RBIs all last season. But he's healthy. Worked real hard this past off season on his lower body to try and help his back issues that have plagued him at times. 2-2, good breaking ball. And Helton, a career .337 hitter against Atlanta. Got him. First strikeout for Hansen. He has a 1-2-3 first. Braves coming to bat. Take a look at Freddie Gonzalez's July 4th lineup tonight. At the top of the order will be Jordan Schaefer, then Alex Gonzalez and Brian McCann. Freddie Freeman bats cleanup in the absence of Chipper Jones, and Hayward and Ugla. Jason batting 5th tonight. Brooks Conrad, Nate McLouth, and Tommy Hansen the bottom third of the order against Ubaldo Jimenez.
Ubaldo Jimenez out of the Dominican Republic, 6'4", 210. His last start versus the White Sox, he threw 7 innings, only given up 4 hits and 2 runs, but his velocity is starting to come back. Joe, we talked about that no-hitter in April of last year. He was rushing it up there about 98 miles an hour that night, had a really good breaking ball, but for some reason he has lost velocity, and he's just now starting to get it back.
And what a tale of 2 seasons. They're 14-1 at this stage of last year. Jordan Schaefer hitting .230, a homer, 5 RBIs. And he's behind 0-2. Went 4 for 13 in the series against Baltimore. Little defensive swing there. One of the things that people are trying to figure out why Jimenez got off to such a bad start, and some of it's injury related. He came out of spring training with a hip and groin issue that was nagging him, but then he tore the cuticle on his thumb on his right hand, and it was making it hard for him to throw his breaking ball. And a 95 fastball brings up Jordan, who walks away shaking his head. Here's the defense behind Jimenez tonight. Blackman, Spilborghs, and Smith, with Spilborghs playing center tonight instead of Gonzalez. Ty Wigginton at third base playing real well for him. Troy Tulowitzki, Mark Ellis, and Todd Helton, with Chris Iannetta doing the catching. And Alex Gonzalez bats with 1 out, hitting .240. But to finish on that Jimenez thumb injury, it was thought that early in the year he was trying to trick people because his thumb was really bothering him. A lot of off-speed stuff. But like you said, Ron, lately it's been more normal for him.
And I think it bothered him more than what he was saying and what the Rockies knew, because there were some side shots of him early in the season.
He's short, backhanded by Tulowitzki. Low throw, dug out by Helton.
There were some side-by-side comparisons between last year and this year at this time, and you could tell that he was not finishing his pitches. It was almost like he was guarding against some type of injury, so I'm sure that had a lot to do with it.
Time for our SunTrust Solid Performance. Brian McCann is named to the All-Star team as a starter. Great numbers against the Rockies in his career, a .373 mark. 2 for 7 in the series against Baltimore. Rockies put a shift on the infield for him. And how about that? Some stars on his uniform.
That's a beautiful sight, isn't it?
You know what? I think that's a great idea, and they ought to put one on there for every year you get invited or get voted.
Yeah, just like
selected.
Football helmets. Every time you hit a guy, you get the skull and crossbones.
That's a great thing.
It's beautiful.
2-1 to him. He's 3 for 16 in his career against Jimenez.
Yeah, he has been as hot as anyone in the major leagues. In his last 27 games, he's got a .320 average with 10 homers and 22 RBIs.
And Jimenez falls behind in 3-1. In that no-hitter, April 17th of 2010, Jimenez walked 6 guys. They all came in the first 4 innings, and yet the Braves couldn't muster a hit to do anything about it. Here's the line from that night. Retired the last 15 in a row. Had a good cut at that one. Full count.
Well, you see that velocity back up to 95. And again, last year he would rush it up there to about 98. He was down early this season to about 91 to 92 tops, and now he's back to 95.
Hard hit through the shift, base hit. 3 guys on the right side of the diamond, but Brian hit that hard and right between them. No hitter tonight.
Brian McCann continues to stay hot, and it's a pretty good pitch here, but Brian is just so balanced at the plate, and he sees the ball so well. He keeps that head still, stays on the baseball. He pulls it, but he wasn't trying to pull it there. That pitch was on the outer half of the plate, but he just stays with it and hits it through the shift.
And Freddie Freeman comes to the plate with 2 out. He was 1 for 8 against Baltimore, hitting .268 with 9 homers. Like a lot of teams, they try to pitch him inside right away. Jimenez does not hold runners well. He doesn't have a good move over there. Doesn't like to throw over. You might see Atlanta try to run on him tonight when they do get some men on base. Out of play, 2-1.
It's funny that you mentioned that, Joe. Before the game, during batting practice, right before batting practice started, you and I were down in the dugout, and Terry Pendleton had some of the guys that could run and steal bases out there, and they were working on going base to base and getting good jumps. And maybe this is something they wanted to see today with Ubaldo on the mound, maybe disrupt his rhythm.
Good thought, because I love seeing them out there working on just more fundamentals, base running and base stealing fundamentals. 2-2 now to Freddie. Got a couple of pickoffs, but pretty good stolen base ratio for opponents. Full count.
I asked McCann why he wasn't out there with those fast guys, and he says, it's a sneak approach.
Yeah. You're afraid to tip it off.
That's right.
He'll be running if it goes to a full count here. We'll see.
He said, well, I have just as many stolen bases as a couple of those guys out there.
That's right. He's got a couple. He's 2 out of 3. Got more than Todd Helton. Full count. Nice stop by Iannetta. Jimenez grew up in the Dominican, in a real poor section of San Cristobal, Dominican Republic. And his favorite team was the Atlanta Braves. And he wears his pants and socks the way he does with those stirrup socks because his favorite player was Chipper Jones. Runner goes. Pulled down the line, but foul. That was hit hard. And if you recall, for those of you that don't remember, when Chipper broke into the big leagues, that's the way he wore his socks.
Yeah, the old traditional look there.
Runner goes again. Pitch lifted high and deep toward left center field. Spielborg's on the run. At the wall, it's gone! Home run!
For the Atlanta Braves, especially over the last week, had a big series up there in Seattle, hit some long home runs, and when he's hitting the ball out the other way like this, you know he is locked in. He gets a pitch about belt high from Jimenez, and he does not miss it. Freddie Freeman right now is getting locked in, and he's getting locked in with power.
First home run allowed by Jimenez on the road this year. Two to nothing Atlanta on the 10th home run of the year by Freddie Freeman. You know, I don't remember who he's hit all his homers off of, but I know in his first 10, he's already got, first 11, he's already got one off Roy Halladay and Ubaldo Jimenez. Not a bad way to start. Jason Hayward ahead in the count, 2-1. He's hitting .228. Hit his 8th homer on this homestand, 3 for 13 against Baltimore. Three and one. Three and two. Going back to your point about him losing velocity, Ron, last year he average for the year 97 miles an hour.
Which means he hit triple digits a couple times.
Yes, he did. Hayward down on strikes. 2 strikeouts in the inning, but a 2-run homer for Freddie Freeman. Opposite field. Braves lead 2-0.
Left center.
Work with early, and as we go to the second inning, let's check out our AT&T Uverse trivia question. Tonight's question: opponents are batting 193 against Hansen. That's the lowest average in the National League. Who was the last Brave to lead the NL for a season in that category? I want to ask a hint type question. Would that apply just to starters? It was a starter. Okay. We'll have that to work on. Troy Tulowitzki stands in 5 for 22 in that series against Kansas City and on their homestand. He got off to a good start, then slumped, and now he's on the way back, hitting .272 with 17 homers and 57 RBIs.
Well, these guys went into a real big skid a couple months ago in the first half of the season, and part of it was Tulowitzki and Cargo both started struggling at the same time, and if those two guys don't hit, this lineup does not have a chance.
Well, the story is that Gonzalez, who won the batting title last year, thought that because he hit .350 last year, he needed to hit .700 this year, and that got him into some trouble. But when Jim Tracy moved him to the leadoff spot, he got a little more selective. Good hook for strike 1 and 2.
Well, you know, that's one thing as a hitter you have to learn how to do. One, you have to learn how to make adjustments. But two, sometimes it's easier just to let the game come to you and not try to force things out there. And so when I talk to some of these younger players, I just say, hey, just go out there and have fun and just let it happen.
Curveball lifted to left. McLeod coming in, and he'll have it. 4 in a row set down by Hansen. And here's a guy that's a good player that you don't hear much about, Seth Smith. Playing right field, hitting right at 300, 301 with 8 homers. Getting a chance to play just about every day these days.
Take a look at his numbers, but he's also been playing some pretty good defense out there, and I'm telling you, at Coors Field, that's a tough outfield to play, and he's been doing a great job for him out there.
Good fastball, 92 from Tommy. Left-handers hitting .223 against him with 6 homers. Right-handers just .170. just missed. And undefeated this year. Braves are 35-8 on the year when they score first. That's always a good omen. Good fastball and a good swing. 2-2.
Talked about Tommy's last 10 starts, how he has those 73 strikeouts, and that's in 61 in the third innings. But he struck out the Houston Astros double digit 3 times in double digits. Back on April 27th, he had 10 strikeouts. May 16th, he had 10. And then June 12th, he had 14. He had that 14 strikeout game.
And gets Smith with a big hook. Second strikeout for Hansen.
And this is the pitch I'm talking about. This has pretty much been his go-to pitch. Everyone knows he can rush it up there 94, 95 miles an hour, but he's got a lot of break on this breaking ball. And once these guys start looking fastball and he breaks, that's a big break for you to make that adjustment to.
Ty Wigginton was signed by the Rockies to be kind of a jack of all trades, play a little third base, maybe some second or some outfield, but with the struggles of Stewart that they sent back to AAA. Like I said, Chris Stewart earlier, it's Ian Stewart. That Wigginton's become their everyday guy, and he's played well. 13 homers, 36 driven in.
Yeah, he's been one of those guys that every team has wanted at the trade deadline, just a really good infielder, and he's going to bring some power to the plate.
If you just joined us, Freddie Freeman, a 2-run homer to left center, estimated at 397 feet. Has put the Braves on top. Good crowd on hand, but if you're in the area, come on by and join us. Got room for you. Fireworks after the game. Struck him out. Good fastball there, 93. 3 strikeouts for Hansen. He shut down the first 6 in a row.
Ranked #1 in customer satisfaction nationwide for 6 straight years. Experience all the comfort and amenities you expect at an unexpectedly low price. Jameson Inn. Live large, pay less.
Joe and Ron with you from Turner Field on this Independence Day Monday. Braves up 2-0. Bottom of the second inning. Dan Ugla, Brooks Conrad, and Nate McClout. It's Ubaldo Jimenez. Dan Ugla, 1 for 12 in the Orioles series, hitting .175, 12 homers, 29 driven in. 1 for 7 in his career against Jimenez.
No, it's been tough for Dan, but you know, a lot of it has been mental with him. A lot of expectations coming into this season. Go out and get him, and he felt like he had to come in and, you know, put up a lot of big numbers, and I'm sure that's been in his head all season long. But he's starting to show some signs of staying in there with that front shoulder and driving the ball up the middle. But that's going to take some time, especially mentally. I think one of those things that some of the guys used to tell me, like Willie Stargell, Hank Aaron used to say the same thing. You know, go in before batting practice and take about 50 balls in the cage out of the machine and just bunt. So your eyes will track the ball, don't take any swings, and then take that into batting practice. So things like that, when you're struggling, you have to do. And it's good to have veteran players around to be able to share some of those things. And, you know, and again, we talked about this pitching staff being able to talk to guys like Tom Glavine, who's still around and does work for the Braves, and myself, you know, a lot of experience here.
Hit that on the nose to center field, but right at Spilboards. You're right, Ron, and that's a good drill, that bunting drill you were talking about. And with one out before Conrad hits, a reminder to take your family and friends to see the Braves against these Rockies tomorrow and Wednesday, and save 46% off with Coca-Cola 2 for $30 Tuesdays and Toyota 2 for $30 Wednesday ticket specials. For tickets, visit Braves.com/ticket specials or call 1-800-745-3000. Wind picking up out of the north as Brooks Conrad steps in and takes a strike. Those ticket specials tomorrow are in the club pavilion, so you get all the amenities in the club level. And the Wednesday ticket specials are for the outfield pavilion, so great seats on both of those specials for Tuesday and Wednesday. Took a little off. Good pitch. 1-2. Brooks is hitting .245 with 3 homers. All 3 homers as a pinch hitter. But for the year, batting left-handed, he's hitting .283 against right-handers. And took that one on the corner. Third strikeout for Jimenez.
Yeah, it's a good pitch by Jimenez there, and again, that velocity starting to come back. A good hard fastball after a good changeup. He took a lot off that changeup and then went right back up to 95 miles an hour and just froze Brooks.
Finished up last year at 19-8 with a .288 ERA. Nate McLouth takes ball 1. Nate was 2 for 8 in the Baltimore series.
Nate has had some really good at-bats of late, and again, he's feeling healthy. He's been playing every day out there with the injury to Martin Prado, and he's starting to look like that player that when we first got him here. And again, a lot of it is health, but he's taking some really good at-bats up there. It's good to see.
It is good to see, and he's got some confidence back. Another good off-speed pitch from Jimenez. 1-2. Struck him out. 4 strikeouts for Jimenez, 2 in each inning. But a Freddie Freeman 2-run homer has the Braves on top. and home run. Tommy Hanson completing his warm-ups. I want to show you a fella, Pat Farmer. There in the colorful, I'll call it a running shirt. That's because this guy's doing some running. History is being made in Atlanta. Gets to witness firsthand this Australian ultra marathoner as he continues his run from the North Pole to the South Pole for Red Cross disaster relief.
Wow.
He got here today, enjoying the baseball game with the Braves, and he's been on the field watching batting practice, met some of the troops who were down on the field, collected some autographs from some of the players that will be auctioned off to benefit the Red Cross. There's his path, and he's here to celebrate the holiday with the team and the folks of Atlanta. Quite a story. And Spielborg steps in and takes high. It's 13,000 miles, and he runs 50 miles a day. 50, not 15, 50. Spielborg's to right. But Jason is there, and that's 7 in a row set down by Hanson. Now, he could have run in the Peachtree race this morning here in Atlanta and just barely broken a sweat because he's not even, that's just a tenth of his day's run.
Halfway around the world. I mean, that's just amazing. Joe, the furthest I run now is from the kitchen to the couch.
I got you, buddy. Got you. Or if the dog gets out, I got to chase it. Man.
Yeah, every once in a while after the old golf ball, but try not to do that too much.
Chris Iannetta hitting .227 as the catcher, and he stands in. Fouls that back. It's estimated that Mr. Farmer, the ultra marathoner, during his run will raise $100 million for Red Cross. $100 million.
That is awesome.
Tommy is popping the leather on the corners, 0-2.
And he's doing it with his fastball. We mentioned that that last start he struggled in the first couple innings with the location of his fastball. Well, he doesn't have that problem tonight.
Threw that one into the dirt. Nice stop by the All-Star, Brian McCann, 1-2. There's a good chance that it might be an all-Braves battery. You never know. Jair Jurgens may be the All-Star game starter throwing to his catcher.
I'd love to see that.
2-2 with the pitcher Jimenez on deck. It's off the end of the bat, now to play.
I know it's hard to compare the two, but Joe, I played behind some really good pitching staffs in the early 90s, as you well know. But I'm telling you, this pitching staff today has been just a surprise to me how good they've been. The Braves, all they have to do is score runs, and if you score a couple runs for this rotation, more times than none, you're going to end up winning the ball game. And that's a lot how we felt back in the early 90s with Madison, Glavine, and Smoltz, those guys. So, again, Roger McDowell's doing a great job with these young pitchers. You've got a good mix of young guys and some veterans like Derek Lowe and Tim Hudson that these guys can learn from. And I'm telling you, they are right on track.
And I agree with you. I don't think enough credit's being thrown Rogers' way the way he's helped these guys come along. Struck him out. 2-2 fastball, threw it right by him. That's 4 strikeouts for Hanson.
Well, he's got a good breaking ball and a good fastball working tonight, so that's good for the Atlanta Braves. And he puts Iannetta away on the black with a 2-seam fastball in the corner. When he's hitting his spots like that, he's pretty much unhittable.
24 years old, 6'6", 220. He's now in Redlands, California. Jimenez, 1 for 24 on the year, but that hit drove in a couple of runs. 0-42. Got a good cut at that, 1-1. Hansen has set down the first 8. Braves got a 2-out single from McCann and then a 2-run homer from Freeman in the first. Two and 1 the count.
Well, the other luxury, too, we're talking about the starting rotation is these guys in the rotation know if they got a lead going late in the game, if they can go 6 innings with the way this bullpen has been, they feel like they're going to get the win each and every time out there because Johnny Venters and Craig Kimbrell at the end and George Sherrill and O'Flaherty and all these guys, everybody's chipping in. They have the most strikeouts in Major League Baseball coming out of that bullpen.
A lot of power arms. Tommy's 3-1 to the pitcher. And right back through the middle. Might have skipped off his foot. If it did, it went right to Ugla for the out. I believe that's going to go 1-4-3. 9 in a row. Set down by Hansen. We go to the bottom of the third. By SunTrust, by AT&T Uverse, by McDonald's, and by Toyota. Dark clouds forming overhead, but so far so good for the Braves here at Turner Field. 2-0 lead. And Tommy Hansen, who has retired the first 9 he's faced, will lead off the inning. Tommy's 2 for 24 on the year. Players from both sides wearing their commemorative Independence Day caps with red, white, and blue lettering on their logos. Stars and stripes, I should say. They're not the only ones that are patriotic, though. How about Jim Lovell, the assistant trainer for the Braves? He's got his July 4th shirt on, looking sharp.
Very nice. A lot of service men and women here in attendance today.
1-2 to Hansen. Interesting about that home run from Freeman, the fact that Jimenez had only allowed 3 home runs in his last 9 starts, and they all came in one game against the Dodgers. Strike 3 call to Hansen. It's 5 strikeouts for Jimenez. And with 1 out, here's tonight's Jamison Inn upcoming schedule. 3 more games here to round out this homestand against the Rockies. We'll have them all for you right here on Peachtree TV in the Atlanta metro area, and outside the metro area they'll be on Fox Sports South. 7 o'clock starts tomorrow and Wednesday, and then a 1 o'clock start on Thursday. Ron and I will have all 3 of those games for you too. Jordan Schaefer took a called third strike his first time up. Looks at ball one. And pulled that one hard but foul.
You know, it's really good to see Jordan Schaefer here in the big leagues leading off for the Atlanta Braves. Even on days that he doesn't get hits, he just still brings that energy and that youth to the ballpark, and it seems like it just filters around the clubhouse and throughout that lineup.
He's playing a really good center field, too. Made a terrific play here a couple of days ago on a ball that fooled him, and he was still able to recover and run it down.
He's been outstanding out there, and he's been hitting lefties pretty good. He stays in there well.
Good idea, but bunted right through it, 2-2.
Guys like Jordan Schaefer just so valuable for a ball club, and you really don't know how much of an impact these guys make on a game until they get on base and they start putting that pressure. They can go first to third. You make your outfielders make errors out there trying to rush throws. Infielders, you hit a ball on the ground, the infielders rush trying to make throws, throwing you out. And it's never seen in the box score, but it's always there with these guys with speed.
No question about it. The ability to put some pressure on them. Full count now to Schaefer. Struck him out with a good fastball. That one 96. 6 strikeouts for Jimenez. And Alex Gonzalez, the batter, hit the ball sharply. Tulowitzki made a nice play backhanding it, throwing him out. San Francisco leads the West by 3 games now over the Diamondbacks and 6.5 games over Colorado.
San Francisco is doing exactly what they did last year. They don't score many runs, but they got one heck of a pitching staff.
They're getting some traction with those guys too. Lincecum got off to a bad start, but that's all beginning to seek its own level again. Matt Cain's having a good year.
Ryan Vogelsong has been the story of the year for the San Francisco Giants.
Sure has. And made the All-Star team, selected by his manager. 0-2 to Alex. Just missed inside. Most of the fastballs from Jimenez are going to be two-seamers. They've got a lot of the pitch will have a lot of life with some late movement. Just a rare four-seamer. A couple of times a game. 2-2. Padres are beating the Giants in San Francisco tonight. 5-2, bottom of the ninth.
Seven.
Full count.
Went in with a fastball and then went away with it. The one in is to get you off the plate, and then it goes right back out on the outside corner. He's got to throw a strike now, though.
And Alex, a good fastball hitter. But he took that one. And Wally Bell rang him up. Alex didn't like the call. Jimenez strikes out the side, and he's already got 7 for the night. inning, courtesy of a Freddie Freeman 2-run homer, his 10th of the year, but so far so good run for Tommy Hanson too.
Yeah, Tommy Hanson has just been dealing again. He's working off that last start where he found it after the first couple innings, and look at that big breaking ball. He's got his fastball working, and the thing is tonight he's got command with both pitches. He's getting ahead of hitters and he's putting them away with both pitches, which means that he is double effective tonight.
3 fly ball outs, 1 each inning. 1 strikeout in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. And 9 up and 9 down. Blackman will lead off the 4th. Charlie Blackman's a good story. Actually was at Georgia Tech as a pitcher. And he can run too. Good bunt. Conrad. Good play. Brooksy barehanding and a nice throw. Got him. Outstanding bunt, but an even better play by the third sacker.
Brooks Conrad trying to show Chipper Jones that he can make this play consistently also, and this is a tough play to make here. I've played third base before and had to make that play, and it's not as easy as Brooks Conrad just made it look.
Our Zaxby's indescribably good play. 10 up and 10 down thanks to that play. Blackman, as I started to say, went to Tech as a pitcher, then in summer leagues started playing some outfield and eventually got drafted as an outfielder by Colorado. Mark Ellis flied out his first time, and he's in the hole 0-2.
You know, the Braves have been playing really good defense of late, and the result of that is that these pitchers go out there and they get strike one, they throw strikes, they get the ball and go, and it keeps the defense on their toes.
Alex Gonzalez might want to know where that pitch was. That was close to the same pitch he got rung up on. Tapper in front of the mound. Oh, just foul. Can had a little dirt bounce up in his face, but jumped out there quickly to get it. McCann was so funny before the game. John Shamby's in town with ESPN Radio, former Braves broadcaster, complimenting Brian on being the all-star starter behind the plate, and John told him, he said, you know what I appreciate about you is that you haven't become one of those dig me guys. There's Boog. You haven't become one of those dig me guys. And Brian said, hey, if you think you're cool because you're a baseball player, then you're an idiot. Full count now to Ellis.
It's a very humbling sport, to say the least.
Tried to get him with a breaking ball. He didn't offer. First walk. First base runner. 1 out for Helton. Struck out his first time up to end the first. Todd Helton can still turn on the ball if you make a mistake, but he likes hitting the ball to left center. Braves play him that way. Shade him that way anyway a little bit with Schaefer. Pretty much give him the right field line. Another close pitch.
Maybe a little respect factor there for Todd Helton. What a career he's had for the Rockies.
Two and one. showed you that he had just gone past the 2,000 game mark as a Rocky. And he now has over 2,300 hits. 2,316 hits in those 2003 games. 3-1 to him.
It's a lot of hits, and he's done it on the road also.
Runner goes. Foul tipped in the glove of McCann, but the throw is high. And Ellis has his first stolen base as a Rocky, his 8th overall. Full count. Line towards center. That's going to get down for a hit. A run will score. Schaefer will hold Helton to a single. He got a 3-2 pitch and able to pull that one. And Helton's got his 39th RBI of the year. Again, he only had 37 all last season.
And I think this goes back to that pitch that was pretty close, Joe, that you talked about. Looked like a strike and could have been a strike, and it changes the whole complexion of the at bat. Tommy Hanson has to throw him a strike, and if you come anywhere near the plate in the strike zone to Todd Helton, he doesn't miss many of them.
And another thing too, Ron, is that base stealers continue to pick on Hanson when they do get on, running almost at will. So that stolen base by Ellis set up the RBI. Tulowitzki ducks but takes a strike. He flied to left his first time. Two to one Atlanta, and one out in the fourth. 0-2. First hit of the night for the Rockies, and it turns into an RBI hit for Helton. Something to keep him honest. 1-2.
Troy got off to a great start about the first month and a half of the season. People already started talking MVP and all that, and he just took a nosedive after that. He was well over 300.
Up the middle might be two. Alex will handle it himself at the bag at second, and a 6-3 double play ends the inning, but the Rockies get on the board. A walk, a stolen base, and a single. We go to the bottom of the fourth. 2-1 Atlanta. the inning. Looks like they're not going to have to deal with Troy Tulowitzki anymore tonight, too.
Well, Joe had just talked about Carlo being out maybe possibly for this series, and how this team really can't function without these two guys in the lineup. If he goes out for any period of time, then it's going to be trouble for them. It looks like he pulls a groin or a quad there. It's kind of touching that area around the quad. And this is not good for the Rockies.
Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? Losing Carlos Gonzalez one day and Troy Tulowitzki the next. That's Jonathan Herrera, who will come in and play shortstop and bat cleanup. Huge blow to the offense for the Rockies. For Atlanta, Brian McCann will lead off the fourth. Singled his first time up, and our Delta Airlines on deck is Freddie Freeman, who had a 2-run shot in the first.
Get McCann on and see if he can do it again.
Good cut there. This is interesting. They had three guys on the right side of the diamond in the first inning, and now Herrera is more right up the middle.
Got him out of that shift a little bit. There he goes. Now they're moving more towards the right field there.
Kind of weird. It's almost like they forgot.
Yeah.
2-2.
I guess that's what happens when you beat it your first time up at the plate.
Well, that when your manager's dealing with the loss of your shortstop, you got a new guy in there. Full count. Jimenez decides he'll take that himself. Almost throws it away, but Helton handles it. One out in the fourth. That's 8 in a row set down by Jimenez since Freddie's homer.
Yeah, in case you missed it, this is a fastball up and away to Freddie Freeman. Again, he's locked in at the plate. He's hitting some big home runs, especially the last couple of weeks at the plate for the Atlanta Braves. And it's a quick pitch up in the zone and drives it out to left center. And when he's doing that, look out, he's very dangerous.
Nice to see. One of the first guys pounding him on his helmet, too, was Martin Prado. Martin took part again in drills today. Batting practice. Said he's still got a ways to go to get his legs back in shape.
That will be an interesting situation because the Braves will have to make a move. I guess it's a good situation to be in, but Martin's going to play left field, so what do you do with Nate McLeod? Is he going to just come off the bench and pinch hit?
Be a tough decision to make. Foul ball into the crowd. He heads up. Everybody's all right. One and two. 2-2. Phillies have taken a 1-0 lead. They go to the bottom of the seventh in Florida tonight. And a full count now to Freeman. 70 pitches for Jimenez. He's been to a lot of full counts. Like I said, he's retired 8 in a row. And 10 of the 12 men he's faced. Seven full counts. Out of the first 12 guys he's faced, 13 guys he's faced.
That's a lot of pitches, yeah.
Whew. How Freddie got a piece of that.
Yeah, if he didn't hit that, it would have hit his kneecap.
That was a nice play over there by Mike Plant, Braves vice president. Skipped off his hands, but we expected that. but good defensive work. And a good walk. Good at bat. First free pass issued by Jimenez. Runner at first, 1 out for Hayward. Jason struck out to end the first. Jimenez's last start was against the White Sox at home. 7 innings, 4 hits. He walked 2, struck out 4. Got a no decision. One out, 1 on, and a 1-run lead for Atlanta.
Yeah, we're talking about Jimenez, his velocity being down, and I think it's kind of like dominoes. Once that happens and you try to compensate for everything, and then he lost his command with all of his pitches, and he's trying to fight that back. And that's why he has all these full count counts.
Good swing there by Jason. He was on that one. Maybe a little bit tardy, 1 and 2. Braves trying to get that run back they gave up in the top of the inning. I don't know what that was, but it scared me. That was a quick step off, fake throw, head snap.
It looked like it scared him in, or something scared him.
It did. It made me jump. Outside 2 and 2.
Boy, I tell you, Jason Hayward looks really good now. He looks like he's healthy. I like the way he's taking pitches. I like the way he's playing the outfield. He's running into the wall. He's diving, and he's not getting up, shaking anything like he's injured. So expect to see some power the next few weeks out of him.
Just inside full count. I'm with you. I always put a lot of stock in how a guy's taking pitches, and he is taking them the right way.
Well, and so does the pitcher and catcher. They see that. They see how you take pitches, and they'll try to exploit it.
Runner goes, and the pitch sliced foul. 9th full count for Jimenez, and last 5 in a row. Wow. Thanks, Chan. Freeman was going on the previous 3-2 count.
He's up to 20 pitches this inning.
Going again. Bouncer back to the mound. He won't go to second. He'll go to first for the easy out. Runners, the Braves will have a runner in scoring position for Dan Ugla, who popped to center his first time. Two-out RBI here would be nice.
See his average with runners in scoring position, 173, not good. Hopefully that'll change.
Let's hope. Let's hope the second half is kinder to him.
Yeah, coming into tonight, he has 12 homers. You mentioned that earlier. 29 RBIs, so the homers per RBI ratio is not very high.
Get out of here. Over by the tarp. Helton runs out of room. With runners in scoring position and 2 out, Dan Ugglas hitting 146. That's 6 for 41 on the year. It's a lot of opportunities. By comparison, Chipper has 21 with 2 out.
Got to stay up the middle, especially with 2 strikes and 2 outs.
Lays off that breaking ball, 1-2.
You know, it's not a bad thing to get jammed every once in a while, especially in this situation.
Kind of let you know you're staying on the ball.
You just might get a hit also.
Especially as strong as Dan is. Freeman at second, 2 out, 2-1 Atlanta. In the air to right field, Smith froze for a second, but he's there now to make the catch, and the inning is over. Braves leave a runner. We've played 4. Braves on top by 1. Top of the 5th inning. Time for our AT&T U-Verse trivia question. Tommy Hanson, lowest batting average against him in the National League. Who was the last Braves pitcher to lead the National League in that category? I'm going with Greg Maddux.
That would be obvious. Yeah, well, that's a good pick. I'm going to go with someone I think that is not so obvious. I'm going to go Jason Schmidt.
I like that too. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
202. That's pretty darn good.
That's really good for the season. Really good. Seth Smith leads off the 5th inning, struck out his first time up. .64 pitches for Tommy Hanson. Smith pops it up. Gonzalez there for the out. 1 away. Ron, I want to show you something on the last strikeout when Smith struck out. Watch how he goes down and then back up thinking this was a fastball. He goes down and then it's like his whole body was so fooled on that pitch his first time around that Tommy's curveball coming out high was kind of disguised as a fastball.
Well, Tommy mentioned that he wanted to get a little bit more break on that breaking ball, and when you see hitters do that, that means that eye level changes. You see it up in the strike zone, so you go up to get it, and all of a sudden it comes back down, and you go back down to try to hit it. So that's how good he is with that breaking ball. He's just fooling all these hitters.
It's one of those times with guys that have that high leg kick where it kind of comes back to haunt them because they can't get the leg down in time or they get it down too soon and get fooled.
Get on that front foot.
Ty Wigginton in the hole 1 and 2. He struck out his first time up. Hansen fanned 4 through 3 innings. None since. To right center, but Jordan Schaefer waves off Hayward, makes the catch. 2 outs. One more out be really nice too, with all this threatening weather around us.
5 in, that's right.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have the lead and 4.5 complete, and it is beginning to sprinkle, so hustle up. Spielborg's flied to right his first time. A career .417 hitter here in this ballpark and 37 at bats.
That last fly ball by Wigginton, you see Jordan Schaefer call Jason Hayward out, and you know that's something that they've worked on in spring training. They work on every year, and that's communication. These guys have played the outfield together. And once you get to the big leagues, and you have to know who's out there and who's running. Jason Hayward knows what Jordan Schaefer can get to, and he's just going to go after whatever he can until he hears Schaefer call him.
I guarantee you, if I were Jordan, I'd be practicing my screaming. I got it, just to make sure Hayward could hear me.
You don't want to run into him, that's
Nope.
for sure. That is a load.
A ball and 2 strikes to Spielborg. To third, Conrad charges, scoops, throws him out. Nice play. Couple of good plays by Brooksy tonight. It's an official contest. Braves up 2-1 after 4.5. Here's our McDonald's fan of the game. I got to get me one of those.
It's really nice right there. Nice and neat.
Okay.
I could get one if I could grow hair.
Yeah, me too. He got his July 4th look on right there. Dark clouds gathering, a few sprinkles falling. Poncho's out. Brooks Conrad leads off and lines one to right on the first pitch, base hit. Makes a big turn, but will hold there. Good start to the 5th inning. He struck out looking his first time up.
Yeah, Brooksy's been outstanding all year long off the bench, and when he gets these spot starts, he takes advantage of his at-bats because he knows it's going to be valuable to him later on in the season when he comes up in those big spots pinch hitting. But he has been phenomenal over there at third base and wherever he plays in the infield when he gets these spot starts.
Put a good swing on that. Here's Nate McLeod. We'll see if he's swinging with the pitcher on deck. Ball gets away, but Brooks couldn't see it, couldn't find it. He'll have to hold. Clout struck out his first time up. Jimenez has 7, all in the first 3 innings.
Joe, you mentioned the Braves are 35-8 when they score first, and a lot of it has to do with the pitching staff and, you know, getting those guys those early leads and how good they've been all year long in these situations.
I think it just makes them that much better, Ron.
It does. It really does.
They've
because
got a few runs to work.
Well, you're right, and you know the offense has struggled from time to time throughout the season, been a little inconsistent. But when they do score runs with this pitching staff, you have a great chance to win.
Notice the stars on Jair's jersey. Hard hit, base hit for McLeod. Looks Conrad doesn't slow down. He'll head for third and make it standing there on the corners. Nobody out for Hansen. McLeod squares one up.
And Joe, this is what I was talking about earlier. His first time up there, and good, another really good at bat. I mean, he's just seeing the ball really well right now. He's healthy. He's worked out the issues with the hamstring. And now, as a result of that, he's balanced at the plate. His eyes aren't moving, and he stays on a good fastball right there and just yanks it through the hole.
He stays on a good plane, too. There's not quite the uppercut there was last year that plagued him, too.
I tell you, and you know this, man, when your bottom half is not working correctly, it just everything else is just not going to fall into place.
That's exactly right. Tommy Hansen had a quick visit with Brian Snitker. He might bunt just to get the runner over to second base. Squares around and bunts it foul. And again, the Braves, you're talking about the base runners and the base stealers tonight, going over some fundamentals. The pitchers have been working real hard every day, bunting off a pitching machine that's firing them in there pretty fast. Tommy has 5 sacrifices, as you just saw. Oh, and 2. Word from the Rockies clubhouse is right quadricep tightness for Tulowitzki. That's why he's out of the game, and Jonathan Herrera is at short. First and third, nobody out. Hansen's going to try to bunt with 2 strikes. And he gets it down. And gets him over. See, I don't get that, Ron. Jimenez throws a million miles an hour, and he threw Hansen a slider 0-2. It's like he sped up his bunt.
Well, yeah, and you're right, Joe. He does Tommy Hansen a favor here, because if you elevate a fastball here and he tries to bunt at it, the only thing he can do is either foul it off for the strikeout or pop it up on the infield. So why would you do him a favor and throw him a slider?
Well, I don't know. Hang some of that on the catcher. See how the infield plays it here. 2-1 Atlanta, bottom of the 5th. Corners are in. Schaefer has struck out his first 2 times up. Oh, and 1.
This is one of those spots where Jordan Schaefer is going to learn plate discipline, especially against a guy like Jimenez.
I was just thinking that too.
Yeah. I mean, it's huge. These situations, every time he goes up there, he's going to learn here. Again, he knows Jimenez is in trouble. He got a first base open, so you got to be selective.
And have a plan. Have a plan of maybe what you're looking for. What's this guy done to get you out? So have a plan to get that guy in from third base however you can, and he chased a bad ball the first pitch.
It starts right there in that on-deck circle. You got to think these things through before you get in that situation. You see the play happen, so before you walk in the batter's box, you say, okay, I'm going to make him throw the ball down in the strike zone. Anything up, I'm going to lay off. I'm going to have discipline, go up the middle, and that's got to be your thinking.
And he's out on strikes for the third time and second out of the inning. But that all started with the very first pitch and the first swing at a pitch that he kind of reached for that he really didn't want to hit. Wasn't in his area.
Yeah, and you know, when you have the pitcher on the ropes, like I was saying, you can go up there and look for a pitch just in the area that you're looking for, and if it's anywhere else, even if it's a strike, it's not a pitch you want to hit anyway because he's trying to get you to ground out. So get it in your zone, and if it's there, take a rip at it.
0-1 to Alex. Here's the first pitch, Ron.
Took a little off there, and it's running away. That ball is running away off the plate, and that's a pitch you should not swing at in that situation. You want something to drive up the middle. That pitch, there's nothing you can do with it except for miss it or foul it back.
One and one to Alex, who struck out on a disputed called third strike in the third inning, grounded out in the first.
You know, these pitchers in the big leagues, they know if you're a young player coming up, they feel like you're going to be antsy up there and aggressive up there and just, you know, swing at fastballs anywhere in the strike zone, and that's why they throw them out of the strike zone.
Hard hit right over the top of Brooks Conrad's helmet, and a nice play by a fan down the line.
Pitch in off the plate there, and Alex just turns on it there.
Nice play, sir.
So where do you think he's going to go here? See where Iannetta sets up.
The ball to center, and Spilborg's got fooled. He broke in and now has to go back, but he gets back there in time for the out. The Braves spoil a golden opportunity. They leave him at second and third, and we go to the sixth inning. TV and Fox Sports South is being presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price. 2-1 Braves through 5. Braves runs came in the first inning, a 2-out single by McCann, and then a 2-run homer by Freddie Freeman. Rockies got a 1-out walk in the fourth to Mark Ellis, and he stole a base. Helton drove him in with a single. That's the only hit of the night for Colorado. This is Iannetta, the catcher, and he takes a strike. He fanned his first time up.
This is the inning, Joe. This is that inning where you need that shutdown inning. Get closer to that bullpen if need be.
0-2 to Iannetta.
Bottom of the order coming up.
Yeah, Iannetta, Jimenez, and then Blackman. Out of play. Good crowd here on Independence Day, and glad you're with us. Hope you've had a good holiday weekend. Iannetta able to lay off that breaking ball. 1-2 the count.
Good try, though.
Yeah, it was. He's in a good spot. Got him that time.
Same pitch.
That one.
Yeah.
Pretty much. 5 strikeouts.
Well, I tell you, some of these major league pitchers can really mess with your mind there. He lays off a pitch pretty much the same spot, but the pitch before that. So as a hitter, you're thinking, okay, well, now he's going to try to either come back inside off the plate or he's going to go fastball away, and he throws the same pitch. And you feel foolish walking back to the dugout. I just laid off that pitch.
Jimenez hit the ball back through the middle off Hansen, and then Pugla his first time up. He'd worked a 3-1 count, and Tommy just threw one down the middle and said, here, hit it. Down the line, slicing, foul. Milwaukee lost today. The Cardinals won, so the Cardinals are going to move into first place in the Central. And the Pirates won again. They're only a game and a half out. How about Pittsburgh? 44-41. Played off a high fastball, 2-1. Fights that one off into center, and a base hit for Jimenez. Just his second hit of the year. I'll tell you, the pitchers have been doing some damage to Atlanta after Zach Britton hit a home run off Beachy yesterday.
See Brian McCann set up right down the middle, but he wanted that pitch down across around the knee area. And as you can see, it was above the belt. Not a well-located pitch.
Jimenez over there giving Freddie Freeman a hard time after Freeman hit the homer off of him in the first. Charlie Blackman, the batter, he's grounded out twice, thrown out his last time up on a great play by Brooks Conrad when Blackman had put down a bunt down the third base line. When between his freshman and sophomore year, Blackman, who was a pitcher, went to a wood bat league in Texas, and his coach there was Rusty Greer, the former major league outfielder. And Blackman just told him, you know, I play the outfield. I don't pitch that much. And then Greer called Danny Hall and said, why isn't this guy playing in the outfield for you? Pulls that one foul. So Blackman comes back to Tech for the next year and played so well again that the Rockies drafted him pretty high. 1-1 the count. Line speared by Gonzalez. Double play just like that. Alex robbed Blackman of a base hit, turned it into a double play. Second of the night, turned behind Hansen. McCann, Freeman, and Hayward due up in the bottom of the inning. wonderful tribute and a standing ovation for Captain Aaron Griffin, hometown hero from Phoenix City, Alabama, back home again. And time for our Home Depot know-how question of the game. Tonight it comes from George in Columbia, South Carolina. Is the thin air in Colorado as big an advantage as people say it is?
Well, of course it is. But,
you know what?
Joe, I've had the pleasure of playing at Coors Field for half a season. And there was a couple balls that I hit to opposite field, and I didn't think they were going to go out of the ballpark, and they actually did. So, yeah, absolutely, it does make a difference. Look at some of these splits on the road and at home, especially the batting average, 274 at home, 235 on the road. You see the run differential. I mean, that's huge. And you take a look at the pitching. If that's not proof enough, a 4.60 ERA at home, and it goes down 3.54 on the road. You look at the opponent's batting average against, it's way up at home also. So, yeah, of course, it does make a huge difference. Now, guys like Todd Helton, that's been in Colorado all year long, he hits on the road also, so his numbers might be a little skewed, but he definitely has legit Hall of Fame numbers.
Great Hitters Park. It is a big park. 1-0 to McCann leading off the sixth.
Well, supposedly the humidor is supposed to help, but I guess
Yeah.
the only thing it's helping now is the cigars that they have.
Yeah, it might be. But they can't make that park big enough. 3-0 to McCann. Brian is 1 for 2. He singled and scored in the first, ahead of the home run by Freeman. Taken all the way, 3-1. Shift is on. Ty Wigginton really excited because he gets to play shortstop. They don't let him play short too often.
Can't lay one down on you too. We were talking about that last at bat by Jordan Schaefer and how he was going to have plate discipline. Look at the difference between how Brian McCann takes pitches up there with runners in scoring position and Jordan Schaefer, and there's a huge difference. I mean, Brian does not swing much out of the strike zone.
Drive to right, down the line, crushed it but pulled it foul.
Yeah, and this is what I'm talking about. I mean, this pitch is right in on the plate on the inside corner, and Brian McCann just pulls his hands in. He almost keeps that ball fair, but a little too far in.
Fought that one off to stay alive. That pitch at 97. I mean, that ball that he pulled down the line, it didn't look like a strike. It was in off the plate. Took a little off there, and Brian got a piece of that. 106 pitches for Jimenez right now. In the no-hitter, April 17th, a year ago, he threw a career-high 128. Out of play.
.128 pitches. That's unheard of today for today's pitchers.
That's a lot, isn't it?
You get to that 100 pitch mark, yeah, and that's you start ringing that phone.
Oh, a thing of beauty against the shift. 10th pitch of the at bat on what was another full count. He's reached out there and shot it right where nobody was playing.
Well, Joe, I'm telling you, the game is just not that easy, and Brian McCann is making it look that way. You have a guy out there that can rush it up to 97, 98 miles an hour. For me, I'm thinking, don't get jammed. Well, Brian McCann has so much discipline up there and so much balance at the plate. He takes a real tough pitch and just hits it the other way. A lot of balance at the plate McCann has.
Squaring up everything right now. Freeman has homered and walked. Big cut. Well, that one off of Iannetta. 0-1. Wally Bell will give Iannetta a chance to shake out the cobwebs. 2 runs, 5 hits for Atlanta. McCann has 2 of them. 1 run, 2 hits for the Rockies. That one went over into the dugout right at Jim Lovell, but it went off one of the coolers.
Knocked a few of those over myself, and not with foul balls.
Wasted one high, a ball and 2 strikes. Jason Hayward on deck. Tommy Hanson would like a little breathing room. The Braves had 2nd and 3rd, 1 out last inning, but didn't score. Struck him out. I'm not even sure what that pitch was. 91 miles an hour. Didn't look like his usual fastball.
It almost looked like he wanted to put a little bit of break on this pitch, and like a hard slider, didn't break much, or a cutter. Maybe he's working on a cutter, but definitely had a little bit of a tilt on it.
It worked, but even Freeman, after swinging and missing, was kind of confused. 9 strikeouts for Jimenez. Hayward struck out in the 1st. He had a comebacker in the 4th. Runner goes. No, he doesn't. Bryan will have to hustle back, and he got back. Not sure what caused Bryan to change his mind.
Probably felt like he didn't have that good of a jump. He wasn't far off first base there. Didn't have a huge lead or anything, and it didn't look like he got that great of a jump. So he changed his mind.
He had a great description. One time, though, he says, you know, sometimes when I break for second, it looks so far away. And that may have been his realization when he took off and realized, oh, that's just too far. 2-1.
90 feet turns into 180 pretty quick when you take off, doesn't it?
Rex brothers loosening up in their bullpen. Hard throwing left-hander, and they've got 3 lefties down there. A drive to right center by Hayward. Spillboards on the track, at the wall. It's off the wall. Smith backs up the play. They're going to wave McCann, and on the relay they drop the ball. He's going to score. Jonathan Herrera was going to get Brian McCann, had a chance at him from here to there, and he dropped the ball. Good gamble by Brian Snitker.
Jason Hayward gets a fastball right down the middle and drives this ball. I actually thought it was going to go out, but a little bit of wind blowing in from left to right might have kept it from going out. But this is a perfect relay. The shortstop has got to make this play. Pretty good throw here by Smith. Chest tied to the shortstop. Tried to look to see where he was going to throw it before he caught it.
Absolutely. 3-1 Atlanta. Snitker's waving him all the way. As you can see, they had plenty of time to get Brian if they just make a good catch and throw.
Well, as you can see, that Tulo injury has already loomed large for the Colorado Rockies.
Sure has. 21st RBI for Hayward. The Rockies make a pitching change. We'll be right back. Game summary. Ubaldo Jimenez has been knocked out of the ball game. Freddie Freeman, a 2-run homer in the first inning. Jason Hayward, an RBI double here in the sixth, and Tommy Hanson, the beneficiary of that. He's pitched very good baseball. Only 1 run allowed in his first 6 innings. And the new pitcher is left-hander Rex Brothers. In only his 14th game since getting called up from Colorado Springs. 1-0, a 3.48 ERA from the same home team. It's from Chapel Hill, Tennessee. Dan Ugla, the batter. Pulls one, foul, third base side. Brothers and Minor are the same age. 23 years old. So they had to be teammates in Chapel Hill. Quite a lefty-lefty combination, I would think, in high school.
Absolutely.
This guy throws hard, though. Fastball 95 to 98. And a hard slider.
More than a strikeout per innings pitch.
There's the hard slider, and it bites down and in on Ugla, who's 0 for 2 tonight. A couple of flyouts. Brothers also a first-round pick, a supplemental pick out of Lipscomb University in Tennessee in 2009. Three to 1 Atlanta. Hayward at second, 1 out. And Ugla puts a charge in, 1 foul. Up into the club level.
I tell you, when you're struggling, it seems like before you even walk into the batter's box, you got an 0-2 count on you. You know, a lot of the times it's just, you know, you're swinging at pitches out of the strike zone. You don't have an idea of what you're trying to do up there. As a result, you're trying to start early. Your eyes are moving. You just don't see the ball out of the pitcher's hand.
Another 0-2 to Dan. Another bluff by Brothers.
Keep paying attention to Jason Hayward. He might lay one right down the middle of the plate for Ugla.
A light rain continues to fall. There's the slider again. This time he lays off. It's 1-2. Brooks Conrad on deck. Single by McCann and a 1-out double by Hayward has given the Braves a 2-run lead. Over but low, 2-2. 98 on that pitch. Tell you, it must be a new rule in baseball. You can't have an organization unless you have like 3 guys come out of the bullpen throwing 95 or better.
Well, these guys playing at Coors Field, this organization has to go find guys like this. Strikeout pitchers, try not to pitch the contact there.
Check swing foul. Two and two the count. Out of play.
Tried to elevate a fastball there, and I think that's a setup pitch to try to get back to that slider. Get him thinking fastball and then go down in the dirt again with that hard slider.
Ball tried to take a little off there, and he's really probably happy that that hung as high as it did and out of the zone, but it's another full count. Runner at second belongs to Jimenez. A little off of that one too. Looked like a straight change up in the count 3-2. 85 on that straight change, by the way.
As the hitter, you know, you got first base open. He doesn't have to throw me a strike right now. So I'm sure Uggla's thinking, you know, I got to get something that I can be able to handle. I do have 2 strikes, so I have to be careful.
10th pitch of this at bat for Dan. That's a good sign. And he walks. Good at bat by Dan Uggla. First and second, one out for Conrad. That was the 11th full count of the night for Atlanta hitters. And Brothers walks the first man he faces. And Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach, out to talk to him as Conrad comes up. So as they chat, a reminder to play hooky from work. Bring your clients, co-workers, or family to Turner Field this Thursday and see the Braves against these Rockies at 1 o'clock. It's the Braves SunTrust Business Band Special. And fans that buy tickets at Braves.com/sickday can save up to 37% off and pay as little as $10 for a great seat. For details, visit Braves.com/sickday.
Can't promise not to put you on camera, though.
That's right. No, we wouldn't do that. Come out and join us. That'll be getaway day as the Braves will then head up to take on the Phillies this coming weekend, a weekend series that will end the proverbial first half prior to the All-Star break. Brooks Conrad has struck out and single. That came against Jimenez, and he was batting left-handed. Conrad still looking for his first hit right-handed of the year. He's 0 for 7. 97 on that fastball in the dirt. 1-0.
Braves bullpen getting busier. Eric O'Flaherty is up for Atlanta.
It's been a long half inning. Oh, foul. Brian Snitker tap dances out of the way. Showing you why he was a candidate for Dancing with the Stars. Hopefully he didn't pull anything.
Tommy Hanson has 85 pitches, and this spot's coming up after McLeod.
Swing and a miss. That ball was just flat missed by Iannetta. And runners move up 90 feet. They're at second and third. I don't know if he got crossed up or not.
That does look like a cross-up.
Yeah, but he kind of pancaked it too. Just boxed it.
This could change things here.
Pass ball there. Infield has to play in. Braves lead by 2. The chance to add to it. 1-2 the count. fireworks go off. I thought that pitch hit Brooks, but it didn't. 2-2.
This is a big at bat for Brothers here.
Almost to the backstop. Full count. Ten innings coming into this outing. 10 1/3 for Brothers with 8 walks. But the 13 strikeouts you mentioned too. And now he's walked 9 because he walked Ugla. And another 3-2 count. Got him. Brooks was taking off his shin guard thinking it was ball 4. But a fastball on the corner, says Wally Bell.
Well, I tell you, Ionetta is really baffled back there by what Brothers is throwing to him. But this pitch looks like it's inside. I think Brooks has a beat there. A little too close to take, but looked a little inside to me.
You're right about Ionetta. He is fighting it back there. Wilkin Ramirez has come out in the on-deck circle. He would hit for Hansen as Nate McLeod stands in. Nate's 1 for 2. He has singled and struck out. On the count.
You know, a lot of guys like Brothers that throw so hard that they feel like they have to go out and throw harder than what they actually do, and that's why they end up with all these walks.
One and one to McLeod, whose average is at 235. Braves have scored a run this inning on the double by Hayward. And have been primed with runners at second and third here, but nothing else across. And now 2-1 to Nate. Three and one. Braves 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. It's Hayward at third and Ugla at second. Good hitters count. But he walked him. They're loaded. And while Wilkin Ramirez was out there to hit for Tommy, that apparently was just a deke as Hansen has come out. Tommy has struck out. He's put out a sacrifice bunt. So we can assume that Hansen will go back out for the 7th, even though this bottom of the 6th has been a long inning, long half inning. And he falls behind Hansen 1-0. Hat off the head for the manager, steam coming out of his ears, trying to get some relief over there. There's a strike.
Colorado's bullpen gets busy again. Rafael Betancourt up throwing that way.
He's nasty. Hard thrower. Good late movement. Run to the hands of Hansen. 2-1. How about the Mets yesterday? They have an hour-and-a-half rain delay. Then they play 10 innings. They do beat the Yankees, but then they got to get on a plane and go to L.A. and play the Dodgers tonight at Chavez Ravine. Have a nice holiday.
Yeah.
3-1. That one almost to the backstop. Iannetta, like he caught that right in the web of his catcher's glove.
Talks about Iannetta. Some of these pitches that he's receiving, it just looks like he has no idea where they're coming from.
Shortstop, the veteran first baseman, and the catcher all go out. And remind brothers that that's the pitcher up there. Hansen most likely will be taking here after Brothers was just scolded. And he fires a strike. Full count. Runners will be moving. As Skip used to say, the old merry-go-round play.
That's right.
There they go. Struck him out. Braves settle for one. They leave him loaded. Hansen will go back out for the 7th. It's 3-1 Braves. And I'm sure they're proud tonight of the Braves' 3-1 lead over the Rockies in the first of a 4-game series. Some fireworks in downtown Atlanta, probably from Centennial Park. And we're waiting for fireworks here that will begin after the game. Hansen out for his warm-ups. We'll be able to see right away, Ron, if he's suffered from that long spell in the dugout.
Well, the way as sharp as he's been tonight, I don't think it's going to affect him too much. His pitch count is down. Not a lot of pitches. So
I would say this is the heart of the order with Ellis and Helton, but with Tulowitzki out with an injury. Little mighty might. Jonathan Herrera is batting in the cleanup spot. Ellis tonight is flied out. He walked, stole a base, and scored a run in the 4th. Big curve that missed. 1-1. Off his fists a little bit. Didn't get all of that one, and right to Schaefer. 1 out. Rockies are beginning a 7-day, 7-game road trip that will conclude in Washington prior to the All-Star break. Todd Helton drove in their only run with a single in the 4th. He's also struck out. Sharply to Freeman, who makes the backhanded play. 2 down. Braves are on a good run right now defensively, Ron. They've gone 6 straight games without an error.
Yeah, you know, I talked about this earlier, and the way this starting rotation has been is you just see just now with 2 quick outs from Tommy Hanson that they get the ball and they go and they throw strikes. So for me, if I'm out there playing left field, it's just a luxury to have guys like this, because you're out there, you have a quick half inning, and you're right back in the dugout. So again, it makes the defense better when these pitchers are going out there and throwing strikes.
This is Jonathan Herrera, switch hitter, hitting .241. He's played mostly second base for the Rockies because he hadn't been doing much. 2 homers, 10 RBIs. They felt the need to go get someone else, and they got Mark Ellis. So Herrera relegated to some backup duty. But he's going to have himself a base hit here. His first ever as a cleanup hitter.
Yeah, he better enjoy that one. Probably going to be his last. And that's not a bad pitch by Tommy Hanson there. He actually gets jammed on that pitch, but, you know, again, Tommy's putting it pretty much where he wants to. That was just a good piece of hitting. Fought it off.
Well, and because the Braves have not been able to come through with a hit with runners in scoring position, we can laugh at that hit, but it does bring the tying run to the plate in Seth Smith, who was struck out and popped up. But a .300 hitter coming in with 8 homers. Good low ball hitter.
Pretty decent lead over there at first base.
4 out of 8 in stolen bases for Herrera. It's not thunder, that's the finale. Fireworks. Hard hit and past Freeman. Freddie tried to throw the backhand on it and couldn't. And into second with a double is Smith, and Herrera's at third. Tying runs in scoring position for Ty Wigginton.
Well, you know, this ball had to be hit very hard for Freddie Freeman not to catch it. He's been so good over there at first base. But he didn't have enough time to get over in front of it because it was hit so hard, so all he could do was try to backhand it. It took a big hop on him and could not make the play.
It's all started with 2 outs and nobody on. Roger McDowell giving the bullpen a little time to get loose. O'Flaherty and Guerin warming up. Wigginton tonight struck out in the 2nd, flied to center in the 5th. 5 hits in his last 26 at bats, but he's driven in 36 runs. Ball 1. Ball 2.
You mentioned the RBIs, and he's always been a real big RBI guy. And so See Tommy Hanson just kind of pitching around the strike zone to see if he can get himself out. Looks like they want to pitch the Spilborgs.
My recollection of Wigginton, too, is that he's a pretty good high fastball hitter. Taking there, though, and he got a fastball. 2-1. Wasn't that long ago, Ron, a couple of years ago maybe, that there were some rumors floating around that the Braves were trying to get this guy at the trading deadline to give them a little depth on the bench and some right-handed pop. Boy, is that a good pitch at the knees. 2-2. Didn't go after the slider. Full count. And like you said, Ron, he's got a base to work with. Spilborg's on deck. Got him with a breaking ball. Great job by Hanson to leave runners at second and third. For Hanson, his 6th strikeout. And with the top of the 7th coming to an end, that means it's time for God Bless America. And tonight, performed by Atlanta opera tenor Timothy Miller. And if you haven't heard Timothy, you need to stick around and listen to this.
By Atlanta opera tenor Timothy Miller.
While the storm clouds gather,
far across the sea,
let us swear allegiance
to a land that is free.
Let us all be grateful
for a land so fair.
As we raise our voices in a solemn prayer.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Timothy Miller from the Atlanta Opera. 7th by Hansen, his 6th of the game. And the top of the order due up for Atlanta here in the bottom of the 7th against veteran right-hander Rafael Betancourt, who's now 36 years old, out of Venezuela. 6'2", 215. There are his numbers. His ERA a little inflated because of where he pitches, but close to a strikeout an inning and only 7 walks. He is tough.
You're right, Joe. And he's one of those guys that you always wonder why he couldn't stay with just one ball club, because he's got such great stuff out there on the mound. He's a good strikeout pitcher, and he can get them when he needs them. But just hadn't been able to stick with one club.
Good sinker, slider, throws hard, and good late movement on his fastball. Jordan Schaefer's got the hat trick. He's fanned 3 times, including once with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 1 out in the 5th inning. Good pitch on the corner, 0-1. Jimenez went 5 1/3 innings, 6 hits, gave up all 3 runs, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Rex Brothers 2/3 of an inning, both outs were strikeouts, but he also walked 2. That one missed, 1-1.
Well, they changed that RBI double for Jason Hayward in the 6th inning. It is now an E6, so that run, he does not get an RBI. And that run is unearned.
Yeah, it's a tough break. I mean, it was apparent that they had a play on McCann.
But you can't assume it.
But yeah, you can't. But it cost Hayward an RBI. 1 and 2 to Schaefer.
You know, it's that same play where batter hits a ball on the ground, get a double play. And you can't assume a double play. So if the guy that receives the ball throws it away, you don't get the guy at first, then you can't assume the double play is what they say.
Right.
So he doesn't get an error.
Right, and we see that play quite often on other relays, that they don't charge an error because of the haste in which an infielder's trying to make the play, knowing it's do or die. 2 and 2 to Schaefer.
Well, let's say that he does catch that ball and throws it home. It doesn't mean, or you can't assume, that he's going to throw a strike to home plate to throw McCann out. So you know, I don't see why you don't get an RBI there.
I'm with you on that one.
You know, the grass was wet too.
That's true. Ball might have been wet. Golden sombrero for Schaefer. First strikeout for Betancourt. And for Schaefer, he now has 31 strikeouts in 143 at bats. That's a lot in terms of strikeouts per 10 at bats, let's say, for a leadoff man. Alex Gonzalez is fan once tonight, 0 for 3.
Yeah, and you're right. You know, generally, you want that leadoff guy, especially with Jordan Schaefer's speed. All he has to do is just put the ball in play, and he's going to get hits from time to time just putting it in play. So can't do that if you're walking back to the dugout.
Nope. It's a proven fact. Alex Gonzalez 2 for 5 in his career against Betancourt with a double. Toward the hole, backhanded by Herrera, long throw. Oh, what a play. Laz Diaz made the call, but that was a tremendous play by Jonathan Herrera.
And this is a play that Troy Tulowitzki normally makes, and Herrera does the same thing. He got a lot on this throw, which is surprising because he was so deep towards third base and deep in the hole there, but it looks like he got him. I wasn't sure at first.
It did, and it looked like Alex had taken a look.
Ooh, I think he beat that out.
He did. You're right. And that angle, he certainly looked like he did.
Again, when you're struggling, it just seems like things like that happen all the time to you.
Brian has 2 hits tonight. A single in the first, scored a run. Single leading off the 6th, scored a run. And not quite such a big shift on him this time, since he singled right where Wigginton would have been playing had the shift not been on. One and one from Betancourt. That's the most uncertain swing I've seen Brian take in a month.
He really didn't want to swing at that. He knew it was a slider when it left his hand, but it was in a good area for Betancourt, and he was going to try to lay off of it, but he just couldn't stop his swing there. So why break anything trying to stop your swing?
Well, and it's good that he didn't put it in play. He'd have really been mad if that had turned into a comebacker or something for an out.
Yeah, good point.
Still has a strike left. Two and two. Braves up by 2. We're in the bottom of the 7th. In the air to center, but a little bit off the end of the bat, and Spilborghs will make the play, and the Braves are retired in order. We go to the 8th. Atlanta still up 3-1. Eighth inning, and Ron, the Braves have had some opportunities to expand their lead, but they still are up by 2.
Well, yeah, they definitely had some chances, Joe, to score some extra runs in this ball game, but the big blow from Freddie Freeman, that 2-run home run in the first inning, has been pretty much the blow of the game so far. Tommy Hanson, his line, 7 innings pitched, 4 hits. He only gave up 1 earned run, and he struck out 6 again.
And that makes the Braves on the hook for the AT&T call to the bullpen. And tonight, Johnny Venters returns to action. He's had 4 days off. The scheduled off day when the team came back from Seattle. He did not pitch in the series against Baltimore. Freddie Gonzalez said he was going to try real hard not to use him, and he didn't, although Johnny did get up and warm up last night. And he made his first All-Star game. There's also a change defensively at third. Julio Lugo checks in to play third base for Conrad. Venters fires a strike to Ryan Spilborghs to start the 8th. And check out the stars on that uni. That is a great touch.
Yeah, and very well deserved by Johnny Venters. He's been one of the most dominating guys coming out of the bullpen. Him and Craig Kimbrell, who I think deserves to go also. But anytime you can get a left-hander coming out of the bullpen throwing 95, 96 miles an hour, it's definitely a luxury.
Spilborghs fouls that one off, 2-2. He's facing Venters for the first time. Only 2 guys on their team that have hits against Venters in their career, and oddly enough, they're both left-handed hitters. Carlos Gonzalez and Todd Helton, 2 pretty good hitters. Check swing, he didn't go, full count. Payoff pitch, chopped to third. Lugo will get tested right away. Throws him out.
Never fails, does it? As soon as you go out there as a defensive replacement, that ball finds you.
Good 95-mile-an-hour sinker from Venters. And Chris Iannetta, the batter. He was fanned twice. That came against Hansen. As Ron told you, give up only one run. He walked 1, struck out 6. Another outstanding effort. And left a couple of runners at second and third in the 7th for a strikeout. Check swing by Iannetta, and he went. Cole Garner is in the on-deck circle. He has a bat, would hit for Betancourt. Fastball ate him up, down and in, 1-2.
And that's the nice thing about Johnny Venters when he throws that fastball is it's not straight. He's got a little bend to it with that 2-seamer. Throws that disappearing ball, as we say.
Two and 2 the count. Another full count, 3-2. Payoff pitch. Struck him out. Nope, foul ball. Cam couldn't hang on. So Iannetta will get another chance.
Good 2-seam sinker though for Johnny Venters. And he's working both sides of the plate. He came in a couple times and now he went away. It's a really good pitch there.
And he lost him. A 1-out walk. And that'll bring up Cole Garner, who I believe is making his major league debut. Out of Long Beach, California, 6'2", 210. 26 years old, 26th round pick in 2003. His first major league at bat, just got called up from Colorado Springs. He takes low. 1-1.
Venner so far hasn't been in the strike zone much these first couple of hitters, but the thing I like is they're all down in the strike zone. There's nothing up.
And that was a problem for him, those 2 rough outings he had. One in San Diego, one in Seattle. To third, but foul, and the count 1-2. Yeah, his ball was really flattening out. There are the numbers for Garner. Great numbers at Colorado Springs. Last year he was there at 304 with 10 homers. Tough duty first at bat in the big leagues against this guy. 2-2.
Try to pull a little extra on that pitch.
Yeah, he did.
A little effort.
3 runs, 6 hits for Atlanta. 1 run, 4 hits for the Rockies. And he sends a fly ball to right field pretty deep, but Hayward has room. And Garner is retired in his first big league at bat. 2 down. And back to the top of the order, and Charlie Blackmon, who's 0 for 3. His return to Georgia. Blackmon played last year at Tulsa in Double-A, hit .312. In fact, he was a .312 career hitter in the minor leagues in 3 years. .338 at Tri-City, .307 at Modesto, and .312 at Tulsa. Rain beginning to fall a little heavier as Blackmon pulls that one foul over by the Bat Boys. And some fans headed for cover.
Venners has him set up for a slider away here. He came in with a 2-seamer. Blackmon turned on it, hit it foul, and that opens up the outside part of the plate.
Tried, but a little too low. Two and 1 the count. The lightning flashes overhead too. Dug out by McCann. 3-1. Mark Ellis on deck.
You know, I'm sure those 4 days off helped him fatigue-wise, but he hasn't been real sharp here.
Well, you couldn't wipe the smile off his face in the clubhouse today. Anytime he brought up the All-Star appearance, he was so thrilled. And I said, "How are you feeling?" And he said, "Very good." Driven to left field. McLouth was shallow and on the run. He'll make the catch. Going away. Nate was playing shallow and near the line, and he had to get on his horse to get that one. Talking it over. And Freddie Freeman will lead off the 8th. And here's our Toyota play of the game, Ron.
Yeah, I tell you, he did not miss this pitch. And right now he's zoned in. He got a pitch up in the strike zone for Hernandez, who's had some command problems. Left the pitch up there, and Freddie Freeman did not miss it.
Freddie's 10th homer of the year. He's up to 37 RBIs. There's the big blow of the night that came in the first inning. And a new pitcher on for the Rockies in the 8th. It'll be another left-hander, Matt Reynolds. He's a guy that tries to hit spots, doesn't overpower you really. Kind of in the description of some would be a dart thrower type. Fastball, slider, split finger pitch. Fires a breaking ball to Freddie that's taken high, and it is raining harder. A lot of folks with their umbrellas here tonight, though, and some colorful ones. Freddie sends one into the umbrellas.
Well, if you can't find any good left-handers around the league, it's because the Braves and Rockies have them.
That's the truth. They've got it. That market cornered. A little tough to hang on the baseball right now. It's coming down. A drive to right. Freddie may have gotten another one. He did. A 2-home run night for Freeman. Got 11.
It's a hanging breaking ball from a left-hander, and he stays right on it, does not miss it. Again, he is just so locked in right now against left-handers and right-handers. He had some big home runs out there in Seattle. He's just been clutch, and this guy's still learning how to hit.
An 80-mile-an-hour hanging breaking ball. Jason Hayward 1 for 3. He has a double. Got a run in. Even though it didn't get credit for the RBI because they bobbled the relay. Able to get McCann in from first. That's in the air to left field. Blackman battling the raindrops makes the catch. Looking ahead to the Rockies' 9th inning, it'll be Ellis, Helton, and then the cleanup spot where Herrera had a base hit in the 7th. Tulowitzki, if you just joined us, was trying to leg out an infield grounder that turned into a double play, and he strained his quad muscle in his right leg and had to come out at the end of the 4th inning. And Ugla takes high, ball 1.
We had mentioned at the top of the show that Carlos Gonzalez is out also with a little bit of an injury happened in yesterday's ball game. So the Rockies right now without their 2 main power sources in the middle of that lineup.
And chased a sinker and came up empty 1 and 2. Yeah, their best players, the 2 best players are on the bench now for Colorado. Chipper not in there tonight for Atlanta after getting a cortisone shot in his knee. Ugla chased one in the dirt. He's out of there. 0 for 3 with a walk. First strikeout for Reynolds, who's a big guy out of St. Charles, Illinois. Lives now in Knoxville, Tennessee. 6'5", 240. Went to Austin Peay State University. Was a 20th round pick in 07.
Well, I tell you, he's not going to get away with throwing many hanging breaking balls at Coors Field like he did to Freddie Freeman that first at bat.
Jim Tracy came out of the dugout and asked Wally Bell to go check with the pitcher to make sure that, I guess, the traction's all right on the mound. And apparently it's okay. Jim's lost 2 key players. He doesn't want to lose any more to slipping on the mound. This field in such great shape. It drains so well. There's nothing you can do to control that surface moisture that can cause some slipping. Julio Lugo gets his first at bat of the night after he came in defensively for Conrad. Two for 10 since he got called up for Gwinnett. Takes ball 1. Two and 1 the count. Phillies beat Florida 1-0. That was Worley over Nolasco. Washington scored late and beat the Cubs 5-4. In the air to right. Smith will look up into the rain and make the catch and end the inning. A solo homer from Freddie Freeman leading off this 8th inning has given the Braves another run to work with. We go to the 9th. They lead it 4-1. Right, we go to the 9th inning. Braves up 4-1. And the Braves make the AT&T call to the bullpen. And who else to finish up but Craig Kimbrell. He was patient waiting for Ed Mangan and his crew to spread some diamond dry agent on the field to soak up some of that moisture. And he'll try to finish it.
Yeah, Craig has been outstanding, as we all know, this season for the Atlanta Braves. And I mentioned it earlier, could very easily be on the National League All-Star team as one of the closers. Having a phenomenal season as a rookie. Has not faced any of the Colorado Rockies yet in his career.
Yeah, he still has a chance to get named to the team. So does Tommy Hanson. There are a couple of starting pitchers in the National League. They're going to pitch Sunday that are on the All-Star team, but there's no way they'll be able to pitch in the game. One of them is Matt Cain for the Giants, and the other, I believe, is Cole Hamels for the Phillies. So there's going to be the need for a couple more people, and those guys might get the call still.
Both those guys are starting pitchers, so it seemed like Bochy would be leaning towards Tommy Hanson.
You'd think. Most saves by a rookie before the All-Star break. Tied with Mike McDougall from the Royals in 03, but only Jonathan Papelbon has more. That was back in 06. And Craig's going for number 25 tonight. He'll face Ellis, Helton, and Herrera. And we play on through the rain. Only one run on 4 hits for the Rockies. 2 of those came with 2 out in the 7th. Ellis is 0 for 2 with a walk. He has scored their only run. He drew a 1-out walk in the 4th. The first base runner for Colorado. Stole a base and then scored on a single by Helton. .96 from Craig for the strike. 1-1. Off his fists. Eaten up by the fastball. 1 out. For these hitters that have never seen him before, Ron, like in your experience, you've seen a guy throw 96 to 97, 98. You know what you got to do. It's when he starts breaking off that slider that things change.
Yeah, that's pretty much unfair for a hitter, especially a right-handed hitter. You know the scouting report says he can rush it up there, so automatically you have in the back of your head, I got to get started early, and then he breaks off that nasty slider, and you pretty much don't have a shot because you're so far out front.
1-0 to Helton. 1 for 3 with the RBI. Two 2-0.
The only way you get your hits against guys like this is if they make a mistake. Craig Kimbrell's so good. He throws so hard that if I'm looking fastball and he throws me a fastball in the middle of the plate, I can hit it. But if he throws it on the outside corner, that's a tough pitch to hit. And, of course, you just mentioned the breaking ball. So, and that, I'm definitely not looking for that.
Helton was taken all the way, and there's a strike. 2-1. 3-1. Don't need to make it exciting. Braves got some insurance runs in the 6th and 8th to make it 4-1. Full count. Down the line, McLeod will have a look, but that'll reach the seats.
Good pitch. If you're going to hit the ball, you're going to have to take me out the other way.
In the air to center and hit pretty good. Jordan Schaefer trying to fight the rain, but he'll be there for the catch. 2 out. Same 2 teams tomorrow night on the air at 7 o'clock right here on Peachtree TV in the Atlanta metro area, and outside the area we're on Fox Sports South. That'll be Derek Lowe going for 2 wins in a row after his victory in Seattle against Julius Chassin, who's 8-5. Herrera. 0-1.
Notice that last pitch to Todd Helton. Kimbrell just said, hey, I'm just going to throw a strike here. I'm not going to try to hump up and overpower him. Just let him get himself out. And that's good to see from Kimbrell because from time to time he goes out there and tries to throw too hard, and that's when he gets himself in trouble.
May have tried to overthrow that slider. The first one he's really thrown and missed. 1-1. Two and 1 the count. That ball a little wet for Craig's liking. To center field. Again, Jordan Schaefer. He's there. He's got it. Ball game. Craig Kimbrell with his 25th save. one away from the rookie record of tying the rookie record of 26 saves before the All-Star break. He and the other kid, Freddie Freeman, provide the fireworks tonight. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.